The research presented here has been funded by the Swiss National Science Foundation within a multidisciplinary team with backgrounds in HCI, urbanism, sociology, and geography. This is a research on artificial intelligence, urban, and imaginaries. In this paper, we draw on the notion of imaginary as a research tool to look for alternative visions for intelligence in the cities of future, alternative formulation of artificial intelligence, reimagining AI. The idea is to provide a sociological conception of non-human intelligence in cities that is not subordinate to or hinged on technological enablers, but rather it is grounded in societal challenges that we face in cities, societal challenges that can determine what we need AI to be. Imaginary as a research tool. In philosophy and in the social sciences, l'imaginaire as a dimension of society appears as a recent subject of reflection and scrutiny. It is usually defined as a set of ideas, items, images that determine what is imaginable for a given individual or collective subject. A commonly shared network of concepts, images, stories, myths that make possible common understandings and common practices and provide a widely shared sense of legitimacy. To extract new imaginaries of artificial intelligence, we have conducted interviews with urban experts. As a network of ideas, the outcome of the analysis of the interviews is illustrated in this schematic diagram. Two paths with distinct characteristics appeared connecting the topics highly associated with city and the topics highly associated with AI. While the red link seems to represent the currently dominant formulation of AI in cities, the blue one, we argue, can describe a new imaginary, a standpoint that is grounded primarily on sociological understandings of the city and its relations with inhabitants. This blue line, or the new discursive standpoint, is further analyzed and discussed in relation to the interviews, but also in reference to the related literature in urbanism and urban HCI.
Now, let me tell you more about how we arrived at these outcomes. We have conducted 16 semi-structured interviews with urban sociologists, city planners, and policymakers. Each interview was about 50 minutes long and discussed, among other things, what is the city and its goals, and what can AI do for current and future cities. In the next steps, the interviews were transcribed, translated if necessary, and annotated with an inductively composed codebook of recurrent topics, produced collaboratively by our interdisciplinary team. Using a mixed method approach, we have analyzed co-occurrences of these topics and examined how they are formulated by the interviewees. What are the main characteristics of the non-artificial urban intelligence that we analytically extracted as the novel imaginary from the interviews with our expert group? Let me formulate 4 main points. First, it is contextual. Most of the interviewees highlighted that any type of non-human intelligence still needs human beings and their knowledge of the local context. It can provide answers, but people must be there to ask meaningful questions. From this point of view, the real challenge of non-human intelligence in cities is to be embedded in a reflexive system that brings together citizens and their knowledge in processes of engagement. Second, it is collaborative. Many of the interviewees envision a formulation of intelligence that is based on a link between instruments and information. It is collaborative also in the sense of its relation with humans, emphasizing the necessity of human collective participation in the production and dissemination of the intelligence through a democratic process. Third, it is controlled. We have often encountered the notion of control described as the human agency through various means of individual or collective interaction with the urban intelligence. This overlaps with the previous points surrounding participation and collaboration, but with a distinct emphasis on the human agency and power to overrule non-human intelligence. This points to the conception of technology as inherently ideological, i.e., produced by human beings with interests and political intentions. Finally, it is conscious. Part of the language used around the ideas of non-artificial intelligence questions the reliance on the instrumental utilization of data as the sole representation of reality and its relevance. This echoes concerns from other disciplines about data. In the analyzed interviews, we have seen suggestions for a conscious intelligence grounded in the evolving public knowledge that is progressive, creative, and generative, instead of relying on information whose validity may not transfer from the past to the future. We recognize that the imaginary cannot be reduced to the stated topics and links. To imagine is also not to see. To be blind to other topics and links of a universe of topics where everything coexists. We therefore dedicate a section in our paper to discuss the unthought of, or impensé, as part of the imaginary of interviewees. Finally, this contribution is an example of how HCI research can adopt the notion of imaginaries and the concepts associated with it as a methodological framework. We discuss how Imaginaires can hold a unique position and complement the neighboring, well-established HCI framing concepts such as mental models, context mapping, or future studies.